Recap of the tampering period for our Detroit Lions. Cue that intro. It's showtime. The Detroit Lions opened up free agency tampering period with the exclusive rights free agents in Scott Daly, Benito Jones, Anthony Pittman, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra. Also, they re-signed Ross Pierschenbacher, hopefully I said his name correctly, Matt Nelson, and Craig Reynolds. Don't forget, they also have the future deals in place that was taken in early January, where they signed Jamar Jefferson, Derek Deese Jr., Maurice Alexander, Staley Berryhill, Tom Kennedy, Obena Ize, Darren Paulo, Demetrius Taylor, Jared Williams, Khalil Dorsey, and Brady Breeze. And now for the first signing of the tampering period. The Detroit Lions are re-signing Isaiah Buggs 2 years up to $6 million contract. Now the breakdown is, and shout out to Dave Burkett, I got it from his Twitter account, so shout out Dave. $2.1 million in guaranteed at signing, $4.5 million in a base salary, and another $1.5 million in incentives. I love this deal because he helped us go 8-2 in our last 10 games, and he was rewarded with a good contract. I expect a lot of deals like this, guys on our own roster that helped us win games, getting rewarded with a new contract, and I think that's the Brad Holmes way. Brad Holmes, hey, you deserve this contract, you're going to get a new contract. You want to be here, you're going to get a new contract. He's not going to, break the bank and re-sign a top-tier guy, because we've already heard both Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes both say they're not going to go with the top-tier guys and free agents. We'll go in the draft and go get those guys. Why? Because it's cheaper and you get longer windows of championship windows. So with that being said, I love this move. It is a savvy, under-the-radar type move. Defensive tackle is one of our biggest positions of need. And bringing back Isaiah Buggs is a step into the right direction. You pair him up with Aleem McNeil, and you at least have at least two guys that are on this roster that is worth keeping on this roster. I do have us drafting a defensive tackle. Those videos are coming soon. And Isaiah Buggs, welcome back to Detroit, man. You found a home. I love how you relied on your grit, relied on determination. You went through adversity. You were cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers, a winning franchise, and you got picked up by Detroit, and you made a name for yourself here in Detroit, and you got rewarded with another 2 years with an up to $6 million contract. And I hope you make the $6 million, because you are deserving of every single bit of that money. Super team friendly, and it works for both sides. Like, we're not breaking the bank, and he's happy, we're happy, and let's get back to work. I love this move. Shout out Brad Holmes, shout out Isaiah Buggs. Let's get back to work. Hey, hashtag grit don't quit. Podcast coming back very soon. Cameron Sutton, PFF ranked as the third best corner in free agency in 2023. Brad knew we have limited money with dead cap and players eating up cap space, so he maximized what he had, the only way Brad Holmes knows how. And for about $7 to $8 million per year for the third best corner, can we say value? Because that was definitely a value move. People want to hate because of this guy's who I'm going to bring up next. But for Cameron Sutton, I love this. For my third favorite team, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, I've seen him play numerous times. I've also seen guys like Deshaun Elliott and Chris Board play. And I knew that those two guys with the Baltimore Ravens were going to be a great fit here in Detroit. And basically they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Chris Board made a name for himself on special teams, and he also rotated in at middle linebacker. He also had Deshaun Elliott, who played pretty well when we had a very healthy secondary in place. He kind of fed off of Tracy Walker, helped him out. When Tracy went down, it was Kirby Joseph and Deshaun Elliott. I thought it was a pretty good acquisition. Now you're adding Cameron Sutton. And I think Cameron Sutton is going to be a phenomenal athlete. Yeah, I mean, I call him the 1A, 1B. You have Jeff Okudah, rightfully so. Obviously, 1A, 1B is definitely in place here. With Cameron, if Jeff Okudah doesn't pan out, well, you move Cameron Sutton, next man up. Going into Jeff Okudah's contract year, I hope he can build upon what he did early on into the season when we had a healthy roster, which, when we had a healthy roster, Jeff Okudah was one of the top corners in the NFL in 2022. So to add him with a Cameron Sutton and upgrade the cornerback position and hopefully have a healthy secondary at the safety positions as well, that's definitely going to help as well with both Okudah, Cameron Sutton, and everybody else that I'm going to mention in this video. I definitely love this. Man, could you say steal of the day in day one of the tampering period? Shout out to Brad Holmes. And now I know you're going to be mad because this next guy has gotten a lot of people very mad. Yep, that is right. Thor is back. Alex Anzalone is back in Honolulu Blue. Look, say what you want. Put the hate comments down below. It doesn't matter. I get you. You wanted the $84 million man in Tremaine Edmonds or the TJ Edwards, which actually we almost got TJ Edwards. But TJ Edwards wanted $25 million minimum to come here, where he took a discount to go to the worst team in the NFC North in the Chicago Bears. So I'm not going to overpay for a player just to bring him in, where I could get a value player that does the same production. I'm not going to throw away my money. And I feel like a lot of this fan base that don't like Alex Anzalone want to just throw away the money just to throw away the money to say, well, we upgraded over Alex Anzalone. The dude had a career year. We also brought him back for around $6.25 million. Can you say value once again? $6.25 million for a guy that just had a career year on one of the worst defenses but never wavered. When things were 1-6, he rallied the troops. He said, you know what? Let's just go out there and win one play. Let's go win the next play. And that's not an easy feature when you have a 1-6 defense. So the leadership that Alex Anzalone has shown, and hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. I call it Alex Anzalone, but I know a lot of people say it's Alex Anzalone, so I'm not too sure which it is. I call him Alex Anzalone, so if I say that and then I kind of switch it up to Alex Anzalone, my apologies. But definitely put it in the comment section below how to properly say his last name, because it's much appreciated. Alex had 125 tackles on the year. He had a sack and a half. He had, seven tackles for a loss? I mean, he was doing a lot and on a bad defense. It wasn't until, week 8 where our defense actually stepped up, and then we went on the last 10 games and went 8-2 when he stepped up and got the troops rallied around. Like, when you do stuff like that, reward that type of player. Because guess what? What is our culture? Grit, perseverance, treading above water just enough to sink your butt. Obviously, Dan Campbell says something different. I'm going to keep it kind of clean here. But we're going to tread water long enough to sink you. That's exactly Alex Anzalone, or Alex Anzalone. He's going to be tread just enough water to sink you. Rally the troops. You know what you're getting in him. He's consistent at it. He had a career year. Reward him. And you rewarded him with a 3-year, $6.25 million basically per year, $18.75 million contract. That's a value acquisition. Limited funds, value for your money that you spend. That's exactly how you're supposed to build the right way in free agency. Doing what the Chicago Bears are doing, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it brings the fans in. Oh my gosh, we're going to win a Super Bowl. We're buying every player. What happens if that don't work out? Well, now you have a bunch of dead cap because you probably now got to cut all these guys, eating all this cap, and all you got left is a young team because all you got left is your draft picks. And if you fail on your draft picks, well, guess what? What do you have left? Don't believe me? Go look at the Philadelphia Eagles when they bought their chance to the Super Bowl. their all-star team or their, I forgot what they called themselves, the dream team or whatever. Go look at that team. They went out in free agency, spent a bunch of money, this, that, the other, and fell flat on their face. Go look at the Chicago Bears a few years ago where they got Khalil Mack. They got a bunch of players. They ended their season on a double doink in the first round in wild card weekend. That's not the way you build franchises. So, and Alex Anzalone, however you want to call it, that's how you build it. $6.25 million per year, $18.75 million on the deal for 3 years. Let's run it back. Let's run it back because you're getting value for your dollars. And then you go and draft and you find yourself a Malcolm Rodriguez, aka Rodrigo. You find those guys. Say what you want about Derek Barnes, but every year he's getting better at something. Imagine when he puts all those somethings together and has one season with that. You know, so I love you all, but you gotta lay off of Alex Anzalone. He's solid. You gave him a solid contract. Can we upgrade in the draft? Possible. Okay, 4th round. Maybe there's a Henry Tua. Hopefully I said his name correctly. I don't know. It's T-O'-O, T-O'-O. So y'all know who I'm talking about from Alabama. Maybe there's him. Maybe you upgrade it that way. $6.25 million, 125 tackles. It's been a long time since we really had a 100-tackle player on our roster. At least I don't remember one in the Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn era. So shout out to Alex Anzalone. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's being consistent at it, and he's also building upon it. So congratulations, Alex Anzalone. If you want facts over feelings, y'all know to hit that red subscribe button. If you want anything else, I might not be the one. But if you want those facts, the facts is hit that red subscribe button because I will be dropping a ton of content. Now, before I get into Emmanuel Mosley, this morning we did restructure Tracy Walker to free up $5 million in cap space. Everyone expects a deal to get done hopefully today on the new league year eve. But no news as of yet on Jamal Williams' deal getting done. But as soon as that news breaks, I will be bringing out a new video for that and giving Jamal his due diligence on the video. And now with that being said, the first signing of Tuesday, March the 14th, which is today, happy Pi Day. And with Emmanuel Mosley, he's considered a top tier corner in this league, but he's never really lived up to it because of his health issues. He's had a lot of injuries. In fact, he just came off a torn ACL. I believe he tore his ACL early October. So he should be good to go for training camp and things like that and OTAs and stuff. 1 year, $6 million is probably going to be incentive laden. So it's probably going to be majority incentives. Probably got maybe $2-3 million guaranteed, and the rest probably is going to be incentives. Hey, you're healthy, you can make up to $6 million. You're one of the top tier guys in this league. Brad knows him for scouting him when the Rams used to play the 49ers, division rivals. So he knows himself a little bit about Emmanuel Mosley, and he knows that, the only real knock on Emmanuel is his injury history. Now, I love best ability is availability. I love that because I think that if you can play, you're going to help our team. If you're not healthy, you're hurting our team because we're paying you and you're not performing. I love this move. Again, value. One of the best guys in free agency because of his injury. We got a steal. 1 year, $6 million. If it works, it works. If it don't, you get rid of him. And guess what? You got $6 million extra next year. So I absolutely love it. Overall, it's a great signing. One thing you got to count on is he's bringing from other teams is what Brad Holmes does is it's going to be super team friendly, especially in maybe year one. Like with Cameron Sutton, and I did forget to mention this in Cameron Sutton. With Cameron Sutton, that 2023 cap hit is super minimal. But again, about a $7 to $8 million player. super low cap hit in the first year. I love it. Again, value for your money. That's how you get better. Maximize every single cent that you own as a front office. If you can do that, now you stretch that money out. Because, hey, I might not be able to say go Jalen Ramsey, but you know what? For the price of Jalen Ramsey, I added Cameron Sutton, I added Emmanuel Mosley, and I still got Jeff Okudah. That's 3 corners right there. And don't worry, we're not done with the cornerback position. We got 2 more that also was signed, but we're waiting on that one for when we get there. I absolutely love that. You know, this was an under the radar move. I love it. Injury history, low contract, but guess what? If he's healthy for 17 games with a Cameron Sutton and a Jeff Okudah, who are you going to throw to? Because you got lockdown corners at all the spots. I love it. I absolutely love this move. Shout out Brad Holmes. You're doing your thug thizzle, man. Hey, keep it up, bro. Keep it up, Brad. Hey, you're getting an A+ so far. You're hitting on all the money has been spent. Hitting. I'm not going to say that, you know, hey, go out there and always get an injured guy at a low contract and this, that, the other. No, but guess what? We're bringing in real talent. If they can pan out, they pan out. If not, they're gone. But guess what? You're not pigeonholed. Now we don't have to go with the 18th overall pick or 6th overall pick a corner. Hey, Jalen Carter, if he falls, maybe you pick up the phone. Hey, Jalen, do you promise not to ever do what you did or allegedly do? Hey, I promise it wasn't me. I promise it wasn't this, that, the other. And if it was, and I'm found guilty and this, that, the other, I promise it ain't ever going to happen. And that's a guarantee. All right, if you could guarantee that, come on to Detroit at 6. Hey, we have risers and fallers also in the draft. If Emmanuel Mosley don't pan out, you know, and say maybe Kelee Ringo falls. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying, what if? What if Kelee Ringo falls? 3rd round. You get Kelee Ringo in the 3rd round, learning from Emmanuel Mosley, learning from a Cameron Sutton, learning from a Jeff Okudah. I love my odds. And you're going to get a well-seasoned veteran once he gets to that point. If this doesn't get your football blood going, like, let's go, is it September yet? Then we got to check you for a pulse. Wait, what did I hear? Did I just hear somebody say the commish? I don't know. Did you? Did you hear the commish? That is right. The next signing today was John the Commish Kaminsky. 2-year deal. Was a heck of a player in 2022 for the Detroit Lions. A leader on the defense. Love this extension because you can never have too many good edge guys. And throw in the versatility of playing inside and outside. And now you got a really good move here on your hands. Man, John Kaminsky, welcome back home. Hopefully we have you a little bit longer than just 2 years. You're still relatively young, so hopefully you can build on the success of 2022. I know you did deal with a little bit of injuries this past season. Hopefully that's behind you. You can build upon it for a full 17 games. And man, I can't get the smile off my face because John Kaminsky is back, baby. 2-year deal. Okay, with McCain, I'm not too sure exactly when we signed him. I know that when I was looking at Emmanuel Mosley that we already had signed him, so I don't know if it was earlier today or it could have been yesterday. Definitely leave it in the comment section when you know when we signed him. Now, with McCain, he played with the Eagles and Broncos the past 2 seasons. Both years he played with both teams because he originally was a part of the Denver Broncos. That was his first NFL team that he went to. I'm not too sure if he was a late draft pick or possibly an undrafted guy, but he was signed by the Denver Broncos. He did, I think, about a half a season. I think maybe had 1 or 2 games on the active roster. Majority of it has been on the practice squad. He's a practice squad guy. Depth guy as well. That's exactly what he's going to be here in Detroit. This is kind of the funny thing. He originally started with Denver. Then he went to the Philadelphia Eagles, as you see from his jersey on the graphic. He had a couple games, like I said, that he played in 2021. Now, in 2022, after the season, he goes back to Denver, doesn't make the team, goes onto their practice squad yet again. 1 week later, Philadelphia says, hey, Mac, we need you back. And he goes and gets signed on their practice squad. And that's where he stayed during the entirety of the 2022 season, was with the Philadelphia Eagles on their practice squad. Technically 18 weeks, but out of the 19 possible weeks, obviously, like I said, after 1 week on the Broncos practice squad in week 1, week 2, he went over to the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad, and that's where he stayed the rest of the way. And so he did not get a single snap in 2022. Now, again, $900,000 player, 1-year deal, could be a camp body, could be a practice squad guy, could make the roster. I mean, obviously we know injuries happens. Knock on wood, nothing happens. Best ability is availability. Yet again, I'm going to always try to preach that. Hey, next man up. I like this move. Super low risk. Probably is not even guaranteed. So you got a $900,000 player, not even guaranteed for 1 year. Iron sharpens iron. More guys you have in to compete, the more sharper your topper guys are going to have. Your Jeff Okudah, he's going to be a little bit more sharper. Cameron Sutton, a little bit more sharper. Emmanuel Mosley, even more sharper. So I definitely like this. This is the thing I love about Brad Holmes. You brought in McCain, you brought in Cameron Sutton, you brought in Emmanuel Mosley, you still have Jeff Okudah. You locked up your middle linebacker in Alex Anzalone, and you signed your 2 defensive linemen in Isaiah Buggs and John Kaminsky. Now you're putting emphasis on that secondary. You're putting that emphasis with, we got beat a lot in our secondary. We were one of the worst secondaries in the league throughout the entirety. Now, we did play a lot better the last 10 games where we went 8-2. We played a lot better. In the games that we didn't play a lot better, we lost those 2 games. Obviously, being Thanksgiving Day against the Buffalo Bills. Did we really think that we were going to beat Buffalo? I want some good turkey, but can we get a better matchup? And then we had the mental fart in Carolina with the Panthers, and that was just, I don't know what happened that game. That game was bad. That's the only reason why we went 2 losses. Those 8 games, we played a lot better, but Brad knew that we had to put some emphasis on the secondary. And that's exactly what he did early on in this tampering period. 3 new guys to the cornerback position. This does not pigeonhole us into taking a corner. Now, if we like a corner, a Joey Porter Jr., a Christian Gonzalez, a Devon Witherspoon, we could take them. But we're not forced to take them. That's the one thing I love about what Brad Holmes is doing. He's not showing his hand. You don't show your hand because, hey, if there's a trade, now you have to be like, well, man, what guy do they really want? Well, I got to pay up extra if I got to jump this team. So it hurts the other team, not showing your hand. So never show your hand. Man, I absolutely love what we've been doing. McCain, hopefully he pans out. If not, like I said, worst case scenario, he's a practice squad guy. Worst case scenario from that, he's just not on the team. And we walk away scot-free, $900,000 right back into our pocket. So I'm good with this. Well, we got another trigger person because I know this graphic right here probably got a lot of people triggered. The final move so far of recording this video is Will Harris. Will Harris is re-signed by the Detroit Lions. It is a 1-year deal. You probably have already watched YouTubers cursing and hating on the signing, but because it's, Will Harris, I love this because name a better nickel and dime corner in the NFL for 2022. And I'll call hogwash because Will Harris was the best nickel and dime corner. So a 1-year deal for a young player, that you're not going to be married to? Why not? Why not? 1 year deal. Let's go. Look at now. We got six guys on our team. Jeff Okudah, Will Harris, Jerry Jacobs, Chase Lucas. Now you added Emmanuel Mosley, Cameron Sutton, McCain. 7 guys now. I mean, granted, this is probably going to take us out the corner market in the draft. Now, like I said, within the McCain section, if a Keely Ringo falls, hey, you got Will Harris for 1 year. You got McCain for 1 year. You got Emmanuel Mosley for 1 year. 3 guys that he can learn from. And that's not to mention Cameron Sutton, Jeff Okudah, Chase Lucas, who's been into the system, Jerry Jacobs, who's been into the system, knows what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and Aaron Glenn want. Like, it's going to be a perfect situation. Now, again, hopefully he falls. Is it possible that he falls? Maybe not. We got to see next month at the NFL draft. But this should not take us out the cornerback market in the draft. Do we have 7 guys already? Yeah. But again, you can never have too many corners. You know, it's shown that Jerry Jacobs could be on the practice squad and not get picked up. We can also protect players on the practice squad. You know, Will Harris, you know, if he kind of takes a little step below, you know, you got a rookie to come in to save it. If not, well, then said rookie goes onto the practice squad, or maybe Chase Lucas goes back onto the practice squad. So you got so many different moves. Like, you're not pigeonholed. I love this. Will Harris, thank you, sir. You had one heck of a 2022 season. Hey, if nobody else is going to say thank you, I'm going to salute you and say thank you. So thank you, Will Harris, for playing your tail off. All I can ask for as a fan, just play your tail off. Whether you're good, whether you're bad, whether it's good or ugly, it does not matter. You played your tail off. At the end of the day, you can hang your hat on that. The opportunity to compete is going to be real in Detroit. And you have Dre Bly working with these 7 guys. If that don't get you hype, let's go. Hey, I told you better check your pulse. If you can't get hype for that, man, you got Drake Bly working with these guys? Come on, man. You know, so I absolutely love this. Now, as of recording this video, we are still waiting on Jamal Williams and DJ Chark. Once news breaks on them, I will definitely keep you up to date. And I definitely want to say I apologize for not really putting out videos, not really doing my my daily live show and Grit Don't Quit podcast. The Grit Don't Quit podcast will be returning hopefully Monday. I am working with my co-host Cy Gray to improve the overall show, and we'll get that back to you as soon as possible. You know, we're working on some things for the show to improve the show, and I'm excited. And you know, yesterday I had some editing software issues, so I couldn't get my videos out. I was stuck, and man, it's been a rough few weeks. But we're back. We're at it. We're not going to be missing days. We're grinding. We are going to grind just like the Detroit Lions are going to do in 2023. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, consider hitting that thumbs up. Consider subscribing. It might not be much, but it definitely tells YouTube, hey, these people like it. Let's push this channel out. Gets me into the algorithm. Very much appreciated in advance. And with that being said, I will see you as soon as more news breaks for the Detroit Lions. And if no news breaks, then, you know, hey, we got more videos coming. I've been recording a whole lot, so we got videos already ready. So if there's nothing coming out, there's going to be videos regardless. Happy New League Year Eve, because the Grit Don't Quit won pride, baby. Peace.